How are we, guys? Well, this wasn't the right start for the new video concept, was it, mate?
No, definitely not.
Basically, we've had a bit of requests to do this. We're doing a live post-match reaction. We're just going to collaborate our thoughts on the game, really, mate. Leeds 1, Everton 2, 15 minutes after the game. I mean, what did you dislike the most from that game, to be honest, mate? What's the most disappointing thing you take from that game?
Tyler's finish at the end.
I mean, the amount of time he had. You know what? The amount of time Tyler had there. Why is he hitting? Oh, he just snatched it as well.
Yeah. So frustrating. So frustrating. Yeah. Look, I mean, obviously I was very, very confident before the game, and I don't think it was misplaced. But you know, looking back at that first goal to concede early and concede the way we did. Conceding first is never good for Leeds, as we know. You know, if we get the first goal 9 times out of 10, you know, we'll go on and go on and win the game. It's a disappointing. Having crossed on the pitch. Yeah, good shout. Because I mean, I've seen some people on Twitter already saying a baby could bounce him off the ball. He is really, really lightweight and pretty poor. But listen, Everton were decent tonight. Just if we take it, I think we deserved a draw, 100%. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. You know, and as you know, the Dan Bob says, you know, it isn't a big deal beaten by better players. Context is everything. And when you think about that context, you look at the week that we've had, or the last 3 games over the space of that time. You know, Newcastle was last Wednesday. We win that game. We play Leicester on Sunday. We win that game. We've lost to Everton. Deserve more than that. We should have had a point.
Yeah,
so come on, so. 6 points from 3 isn't that worried. If we start, I mean, the pitch was a bit of an issue, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
The pitch was like ice.
I mean, it kind of worked in our favour at times, and it didn't work in our favour at times. But I think what really, it's hard to be disappointed because, as you said, mate, Everton, they're a team that's pushing for the top 6. I'm not sure they'll get the top 6, to be honest. I think there's a lot of good teams in that area.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, they've still got some players who, not world class, but they're not far off being kind of top quality players. But I think there was so much talk from us, you know, and it was fair enough, of moving up the table. And that was the big thing. You know, how high can these teams finish? Look, we're even talking about Europe. I mean, now you look at it now and you say Everton were out of form coming into this game. They weren't playing particularly well. I don't think they played particularly well tonight with the ball. They defended well, to be fair. I'll give them that. They came with a game plan, but I didn't see from that Everton team. I think if we played like we did against Leicester, if we played at that level, I think we just weren't at that level tonight. I think in terms of control, it's just a big game to lose. I think it's a big game to lose in the sense that, look, we're not good enough for Europe. We're not good enough yet.
I still disagree, bro. I still disagree.
We're not good enough for Europe, mate. I mean,
I still disagree, man. Someone said in the comments, the dream is over, Joe. It is not over, my friends.
Come on, mate. Come on.
I don't know, man. Look, you can't win them all, can you, bro? We've got 6 points in a week against Newcastle and Leicester. Europe,
you had to put a run together, really. I mean, it was never really going into the season. I don't think we were ever looking at realistically. We were looking at Europe, to be fair, but I still think we can finish top half. I still believe in that. I still believe we can maybe have a similar season to Sheffield United, but I just think we're not quite there at the minute in terms of Europe. I still think we need 1 or 2 more. I mean,
so many people in the chat saying, "Just give it up, Joe. Give it up, man. It's gone. It's gone."
I mean, for me, if you're going to finish in Europe, you don't lose a game like that. For me, I don't think you lose that kind of game. I think that's the difference between teams that get there and don't get there. But don't get me wrong. The fact there's no fans in the ground, the games are coming thick and fast. A lot of teams have got to play a very congested schedule. We've got no FA Cup football. There is that advantage, but I just look at it and think another injury or 2.
I'm keeping the dream alive. I'm keeping the dream alive. Don't worry about it, Craig. We're still there. Dino backs me. We're there.
I just don't think we're at that. I think we're an excellent team. We're clearly an excellent team. There's no doubt about it. We play beautiful stuff. At the times today, we had Everton on the ropes, didn't we? You know, at 2-1.
Yeah.
Also make some cracking saves, but
Yeah.
I just don't think we're quite at that level. I don't think we defend set pieces well enough. I don't think Alioski's starting to really worry me at left back now, to be honest. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never massively convinced, but games like tonight, really, it's just a loose cannon, in games like tonight, both going forward and defensively. So I just think in terms of the players we've got, I think we're doing immense stuff, but I don't think we're quite at that level. I just think we'll have a similar season to Sheffield United now. I think we'll just continue to be inconsistent. We'll win some, we'll lose some. And I don't think that's quite enough to, push right on the table. And there'll be people watching this thinking, we've just lost 2-1 to Everton and we're talking about breaking Europe. But look, it was a discussion. It was a discussion.
Let's have a look at the game. Obviously, we've discussed the pitch. Lineup was nice to see Rafinha in there, and of course he was good again tonight for me, getting another goal, getting us back in the game. Dinya, the first goal for Gylfi Sigurdsson. James Rodriguez obviously doesn't play for them. Goal for Gylfi Sigurdsson. It's a Dinya assist for me. Looking back at the goal, Rafinha, he shouldn't get the crossing. We know that Dinya can make a Luka Dean can make a great delivery. He shouldn't get the crossing. He gets the crossing, and when watching it back as well, I'm thinking it's not Pascal. Someone's left Sigurdsson, either Ayling, Alioski, Cooper, whoever it may be. But when you watch it back, Strout's got to enter into that space.
It's just got in that corridor of uncertainty, isn't it, between Meslier and Strout? They both look. Meslier looks. He knows he can't get there. Strout is the one who shouldn't delay. I was a bit harsh on Meslier, to be fair. It's not Mellier's fault. It's Strout, really. Strout needs to deal with it. The run into the box is far too easy. How Sigurdsson... And that's the thing, mate. For me, a team that's in that kind of top 6, top 7 discussion, they don't concede goals like that for me. I just think... That is a really soft goal to give away. At that moment in the game, I thought we started the game quite well. And then we concede a goal like that. It's a really disappointing one. And then from that moment then, because I thought Everton came with a bit of intent to start with. They were pressing high. They were pressing goal kicks. You saw Richarlison pressing high. Top man there, Hazard, to be fair. Got the 2 centre-backs out. Rodrigo, pitch was very slippy. And to be honest, it wasn't our night. I'm still disappointed about losing to Everton. Says a lot. On the bright side, we aren't Fulham or West Brom. And exactly, that's the thing. Yeah. So I'm not. The thing is, I still say what I said at the start. I still go into that Palace game. I don't feel any pressure because I don't think we're quite at the level of pushing for Europe, but I still think we're at a level where we can look at every game and think we can win it. I honestly do. Other than maybe City away, Liverpool at home, the rest of the games coming up this season, on our day, I still think we can beat anyone outside that top 2. For me, on our day, we can beat anyone outside that top 2. And to be honest, on tonight, we could have definitely got something. You know what? If Pickford played, I'm not saying they're using this as an excuse. If Pickford played in that game, we'd probably win it, to be honest. We'd probably win the game. There's no way Pickford makes those saves that Olsen did. So, again, that might be clutching at straws. It definitely is clutching at straws. But
I don't think it is, though, bro. I don't think it is because this is the thing as well, right? People are disappointed with the result, and I understand it. And people say we ain't ready for Europe or we're not as good as this Everton side, etc. But for me, Alioski first half, lovely corner, Rafinha. It's obviously been worked on. Just drops it onto his left foot and he smashes it first time, and it comes off the post. On another day, that goes in. Yeah. We talk about Olsen. Olsen make 3 saves. I think he nearly dropped his hand. Well. Yeah, great saves. The one from Click, it then goes out to Rafinha. You then got Harrison on the rebound. He made 3 fantastic saves in quick succession. We've hit the post. Bamford's hit the crossbar. There was points in there for Leeds United. It's disappointing it didn't happen, but there was points in there for Leeds United. We were much better second half. I think, look, to concede from a corner, I'm not that concerned as I once was. They were talking about it afterwards, saying Leeds have conceded the most from set pieces, which I get. But that was back then. We're not doing it regularly now. We are actually defending them decent for me. I know we've conceded from one tonight. It comes off Godfrey, hits off Cooper, and look, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's a great striker. Yes, he's not been in great form. 7, I don't think he's scored in. But it's a good finish. And he's got the run on Ayling. Ayling's ball watching a little bit, and he's got the run on him. But like's been said there, we did enough to at least get a draw.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think you look at this Leeds team.
Work. Yeah, go on, mate.
I mean, you look at it, still think defensively, yes, the first goal's poor. The second goal's a set piece. We're always going to concede from set pieces until we get Robin Koch back for me. But we play a high line. You're always going to get caught out once or twice in the game. When you play a high line at this level, it's going to happen. Yeah, we had one in the second half when we were well on top. Calvert-Lewin, great save, Meslier. And there's going to be games where, like the Palace one we were talking about off air, where just every shot goes in. It's going to be like that from time to time. Yeah. Today, Everton have pretty much have 3 chances. They've scored 2 of them. It's just sometimes the way it goes, mate. And we've had several, and we've scored 1. And it's just maybe I still think we're clinical. I just think tonight's just been one of those nights, and I just think it's just the way it's going to be. I think defensively, I still think we look better, a lot better. You know, look at the way we defend him around Christmas time. You know, the Man United game, the West Ham game, Newcastle game. We need Meslier to make some absolute world-class saves. We need less of Meslier now. That's a positive for me. In terms of the midfield, I still think the midfield is a work in progress at the minute. I still think we're still trying to find that right 3. I think Phillips is obviously, he's in there no matter what. He is the number 1 in that position. But the other 2, in terms of in front of him, it's up for debate at the minute. Do you play Clint? Do you play Dallas for a bit more solidity? Do you play Rodrigo? So we're still trying to work ourselves out in midfield, but creating chances. We've created plenty tonight. It wasn't vintage Leeds tonight, but we still created a lot of chances, forced the keeper into saves. There's a lot of things about this Leeds team that for me is well placed to go and beat Palace on Monday. But again, Palace, they've got Wilfried Zaha, they've got Eze, players that can just produce a moment of magic out of nothing. So, you know, I still go into most games, vast majority of games, confident that Leeds United will, at the very least, keep themselves in the game, really force the opposition into mistakes, great chances, and that's all you can ask for, mate. You know, we said about Fulham and West Brom. That if Fulham and West Brom had produced that tonight against Everton, the media would have been hailing that. They'd have said, they deserve more. You know what I mean? They'd have been hailing that. You know, we look at West Brom, you know, they got that draw at Liverpool. They didn't deserve the draw at Liverpool, but they just scored from their one shot on target. Sometimes that's the way football works. But the thing is, they would have got a lot of praise for that. And the difference, the expectation levels from don't get me wrong, this Leeds team's got far better players in it than that West Brom team and Fulham team. I mean, Rafinha is probably worth more than both clubs combined, to be honest, in terms of what he produces. I mean, he's got to be the positive for me tonight, mate. The finish was a Salah kind of Son-esque finish, like first time into the bottom corner, fantastic finish, and he was probably the live wire for us in the game. I think I was a little bit disappointed with Jack Harrison on the other side. I think Bamford wasn't quite at that Leicester level, but I still thought he played okay, and I still think that front 3 is magic. If I'm being honest, I just think one cog of the front 3 wasn't quite at it tonight in terms of Jack Harrison. And look, we've got the top, for me, arguably the best manager in the world, if not the top 3, whatever you want to call it. He is in the top 3 managers in the world. There's plenty to be positive about. I just think quality-wise, we're not quite there in terms of Europe. I don't think we're quite there. But after the next window, we're already scouting players. The progress is clear. You know, you look at that Everton game compared to, say, the West Ham game we lost 2-1, or other games we lost 2-1. Chalk and cheese. We were miles better tonight. I thought we were better tonight than we were against Newcastle. I honestly do. I honestly thought we were better tonight than Newcastle. And it's just a difference sometimes. But I honestly feel okay, you know, mate, to be honest.
No, listen, I'm not... Obviously, I want us to win every game of football that I watch us play. But I was confident ahead of this game. I said 2-0, and I was actually not... Look, call me naive, whatever, but it was just my thought. I wasn't worried about this game. I thought we would win the game. Maybe still on a high from the Leicester result, possibly. But I thought we would win the game. But I did say, and I also caveated that, if you'd have given me 3 points from Leicester and Everton, Leicester being away, I'd have took it. You know, if we lose against Leicester, this result has a different feel about it. But we've got to look at it in context. And we beat... This is in the same week, guys. The same week. We beat Newcastle 2-1. We beat Leicester 3-1. And we've lost 2-1 against Everton at home, when really, on the face of it, we deserved more. You know, we've hit the post in the first half from Alioski, a sweet strike, and Olsen's had a worldie. You know, how many times do we come up against keepers that have worldies? So I'm not concerned. I'm not bothered. And I still think, you know where my head's at, and it will remain that until we're mathematically impossible, because that's just what I'm like. But I don't don't really think. Look,
don't get me wrong. I was there, mate. Before this game, I was honestly thinking Everton not playing particularly well.
Yeah.
And then you just look at that first half and you think, we've had a couple of those. We've had a couple of those where we're giving ourselves a bit too much to do. I think back to that Leicester game. Didn't capitulate like that Leicester game. Didn't capitulate like that Palace game. We just gave ourselves a little bit too much to do tonight. And I'm not sure, in terms of trying to break down the low block, like the way Everton defended, have we quite got the technicians in terms of across the team to break it down? Probably not consistently. But, as we build, this is the thing. It's a process. It is really a process. I mean, you look at Everton's approach tonight. That should tell you a lot, the way Everton plays. Everton have gone to a newly promoted team, halfway through the season, and they've sat behind the ball. They've stayed compact. They've blocked the space between the lines. They've not tried to press. They've just sat in and played on the counter. Will Everton play like that against West Brom? No. Will they play like that against Fulham? No. Will they play that against Sheffield United? No. And that is the sign. Teams fear Leeds United. And we're talking about Everton here. Everton has spent millions. Everton felt against a newly promoted team, they couldn't play James Rodriguez. They couldn't even bring him on because they thought he'd be too much of a liability off the ball. And that shows to me that, and maybe that'll be a disadvantage to us. Palace will go the same way. They'll sit in, they'll make it more difficult, they'll make the games less free-flowing, a bit less tempo to it. And it might work against us from time to time. What it does tell you is that teams fear this Leeds United side. And that's got to be immense progress for us. And we're going to have these frustrating moments. We are going to have these frustrating moments. We might have it against Palace. But we're still on 29 points from 21 games. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that, to be honest, for a newly promoted team.
What do you make to the substitutes tonight? We're thin, aren't we? We're thin from a squad. We're thin.
We're thin on numbers, aren't we, at the minute? I think obviously I didn't like the idea of taking Click off, to be honest. I don't think Click was great tonight overall, but I did think he was probably having his best spell of the game before he came off. He was getting on the ball a little bit. We were dominating the midfield a little bit, and we just changed the balance a little bit. I think maybe we went for it, didn't we? Let's be honest, we went for it. We went Pablo and Tyler, and neither are particularly natural passers of the ball, so it was hard to kind of sustain things. Not great off the ball either. So you look at Click, when Everton won the ball back, Click was there pressing. I don't think you quite get the same off Pablo. Tyler, maybe, but it's just a little bit harder to dominate the game for me when you go with two number 10s in the middle of the park. We went for it, though. You know what? With the options we got at the minute, I don't think we could have done anything much different. We went to Dallas at left back. Bielsa did try and change it up a little bit, and ultimately it didn't work out for us. I think the big thing for me was, though, in terms of the front three, obviously Harrison had a poor game. It was who had to come on for Harrison. I don't want to have a go at Costa. But it's clear to me, Costa needs dropping out this team like you wouldn't believe at the minute. He just needs to play games for under 23s, try and regain a bit of confidence, because I think that's what it is at the minute. He's got no confidence in himself at the minute, Costa. He should come on in that game. 10 minutes to go, big opportunity. He should be flying at the fullback there. He should be flying at Holgate on that side of the pitch. He should be flying at Digne, whichever side he plays on. And that sums it up to me, really. Obviously, no Pervader.
Yeah.
And we're just a bit light on numbers at the minute. I think obviously saw Shackleton, to be fair, for the under-23s. He had an immense game on the wing, on Monday. It was immense. So we've seen the highlights from that game. And, maybe that's an option. But I look at Costa at the minute, I just think it just didn't give you that feeling that, okay, Harrison comes off. There's a big drop-off, isn't there? And that's the problem. Because Harrison's not going to be great every game. Even Rafinha's not going to be great every game. Bamford, we're seeing, isn't great every game. We just got to, and that's where the next window comes into play. That's maybe where there's a little bit of frustration. We didn't make a signing, but I'm not going to go back to that because we've been unlucky with injuries. Vader would have come on tonight rather than Costa. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just where you look at maybe why we're not quite at the level I was saying before. In terms of, say for example, if Everton were in trouble tonight, they could have brought on James Rodriguez.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
That's the difference.
That's the difference for me. And Everton obviously had the Lamb missing.
Yeah. That's a big shout as well. It's a big shout. Guys, smash a like on the stream as always, please. Let's get some more people in the chat. We're going to get to your comments in a second.
And let's not forget as well, we lost to a 3-time Champions League winner here. He's won league titles in every country he's managed in. We're talking about not just a great manager, we're talking about one of the greatest managers to ever managed in the game here in Ancelotti. So there's no shame in it. Everton at the start of the season, they've beaten Leicester away. They've beaten pretty much everyone who's up there. no shame in it at all for me, mate.
No.
You know, and look, I know Everton obviously were on the down after that Newcastle game, but it's very easy from one game to the next to come to conclusions, because obviously Everton are a far better team than Newcastle. But you know, and then Newcastle lose their next game. You know, it's so crazy at the minute.
Yeah, it is, mate. You're right. I mean, we're just seeing here, Brighton have just beat Liverpool at Anfield 1-0, which is mental. But I do think, you know, after we'd scored that goal from Rafinha and it was a great finish, you know, Bamford, you know, nodded it down into his path and we're back in the game. And I did feel at that point we were really in the ascendancy. And then Olsen makes them say, and this is the Premier League for you, isn't it? Is if they go in, them chances that we had up against Olsen, we're 2-2. We win the game for me. You know, we're in the ascendancy. The momentum's with us. Yeah.
Game state is just so important, isn't it? You know, at 2-1, we've got a bit of momentum.
Yeah.
Then when that chance doesn't go in, it gives Everton a boost. Then kind of Everton are thinking to themselves, we've got away with one there. Yeah, we can still play in the same way we did before. Yeah, because Everton just went purely on the counter in that second half.
Yeah.
Everton, I think their first shot of that second half was 75 minutes when Richarlison just went and blazed one into the south stand. You know, it changed the game. It changed the game, that, for me. And ultimately, you could also say for Everton, if they'd have made it 3-1 at that stage, they might have gone and won it 4-1.
Yeah.
You know, when Meslier made that save. And I just, we deserved something tonight, you know. We really did. And it's easy to look at the negatives. I think we did a lot of things wrong tonight, but we did a lot of things right. You know, we did a lot of things right. So I still feel okay. I still honestly can't wait for this Palace game. I'm just glad it's not a whole week now until the next game.
Yeah.
Back on it on Monday night. Big chance. You know, look, I'm not looking forward to seeing Wilfred Zaha or Eze again. I really don't. Eze again, who's always brilliant against us, but bring it on. Eze against Phillips, Zaha against Aliofsky, whoever it is, but wherever Zaha plays. So, look, I still feel all right. I mean, get your comments in, guys. Keep your comments coming in. But the pitch obviously has been mentioned here by the Leeds lads. I mean, it's going to take a bit of time, isn't it? I'd like to think we're training it before the Palace game. I'd like to see that happen, to be fair.
Yeah, it was mad. You know, we said, I think in all honesty, if we dial back the first goal, there's actually a slip, I think, from Harrison, which I know it's a few moves prior, but I think we slipped prior to the ball going out to the left. Look, Rafinha should get closer to Luka Dean and the ball shouldn't go in and Stroud should deal with it. Because at that point, I weren't concerned when the ball went out wide. But the pitch is an issue. Obviously, it was like an ice rink, man. It wasn't great, and it happened all night, you know. And I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin mentioned it as well, and obviously we see in our own players, you know, guilty of it as well. So that needs to be sorted. How that happens, I don't know. I'm not. What is it? Agriculture? Is that what it is, or is it gardening? I don't know. Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, what Jack's saying here, I've got to say, it's borderline now with Costa for me. It is bordering on kind of Bamford against Derby in the playoff semi-final kind of levels for me. I just don't think there's any belief there. I don't think he's a bad person to say, but I just think I honestly don't think he cares. But I'm not seeing that hunger from Costa.
Well, you said before,
going to press or going to try and do something right off the ball. I'm just not seeing it from him, to be honest, mate.
Yeah.
What are your feelings?
You said before that the Wolves fan had made that point, right? Yeah. That when they brought in the likes of Jota, Neves, etc., he just dropped off and didn't want to know. And ever since Rafinha's come into the football club, we've seen the difference in quality. But not only that, he just doesn't. I don't know. Like someone said on Twitter, a baby could knock him over. He's just not strong in the tackle. He's just
when
really.
I mean, ball,
look against Leicester, bro. Yeah, no, not at all. And when there's no confidence there from me of him trying to get round the player, but even against Leicester, prior to the third goal, if Maddison puts a decent delivery in, we could concede there. You know, he gives away a silly free kick prior to that. So yeah, he's not great and doesn't fill me with confidence. Look, in the case of Tyler, I thought he's been okay in the last three that he's came on. I thought he should score.
All right tonight, didn't he?
Yeah, he did all right. Yeah, he should score. He should probably bring it down. He probably has time to do that and get a more clean strike. I mean, it's so poor because it's a great pick out from Bamford, who, by the way, I thought Bamford was good again tonight. His touch was a little bit too heavy in times, and I thought that. Yeah, I thought that of Click as well. Yeah, that's another assist for your striker, for your centre forward. Look, it is what it is, man. We've lost the game. Bamford. I'm not concerned. Hey?
6 for the season, isn't it, Bamford, I think now?
And 11 goals. Crazy, mate.
What's pretty much a goal assist every game?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And look, we're still in 11th. We're on the... We're 2 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. Obviously, that's against Southampton, who were leapfrog last night. We're in a good position, man. Yeah. We're in a good position. We're talking about Virgil van Strauch as well, weren't we? But
I mean, I didn't think Strauch was that bad tonight. He's made a mistake.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Other than that, he was, as you said on the watch along, mate. He was the one trying to progress the ball. He was the one trying to take risks. Yeah. And what makes me really happy with that is the fact he's playing out of position. He's playing on the right side, so he's always having to cut in on his left foot. So really, he should be the one doing the least of that. But the fact is, Cooper didn't step up in that regard. Alioski didn't step up in that regard. Aileen tried to. It's just...
I just want to pick up on this here from Lauren F., who says Click needs to go. Right.
Nah.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget this guy has been a mainstay in Marcelo Bielsa's side since day one. When that first game against Stoke City, he's only missed 2 games, not started 2 games, yeah? Derby because he was still pissed. And obviously, I tell a lie, Newcastle and then Leicester.
He didn't start that.
He came on off the bench. Let's not, because he's not been great, start discredit. This guy is a brilliant footballer. Even Marcelo Bielsa said he could get into any side across Europe. He's good. So let's not. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and football's a game of opinions, and opinions like arseholes, etc. Everyone's got one, right? But let's not be saying that. I understand the the Costa stuff because he's fallen off a cliff, and every time he comes on, he just frustrates and he's piss poor and doesn't do anything right. But to say we need to be getting rid of Click, nah, that's way wide of the mark for me.
I think Bob has it spot on. I think the thing is with Click, I'm confident he comes to form again. This isn't the first time Click's been out of form. It's not the first time. I think last season, when you think back to last season, he didn't start last season particularly well. In terms of the promotion year, he didn't finish the first Bielsa season particularly well. When we obviously had that Click of scoring goals, and he didn't score for another 4 months or so. It's not the first time Click's been out of form. So I've seen enough to say he'll get back into form. He'll play himself back into form. He'll start doing the basics. When he starts doing the basics, he'll get the confidence back. When he gets the confidence back, you see Click back at his best. He's played himself into form enough times, and the fact he's played so many games shows he can do it again. His experience, 31 this summer. So it's not a case of, I don't feel there's going to be a Costa situation where he never comes back into form. Because Costa had a couple of bad games start of the season. He's not recovered. He's not recovered at all. But Click for me, look, form is temporary, class is permanent for me. I'm always a big believer in that. I think there's a case to say that Click, could he be dropped from the team altogether? Possibly. You saw that way the Leicester game went, the Newcastle game went. Sold though, drops entirely from the team. No chance. No. When Click plays, the team plays. Click at the start of the season was the best player in the team for the first 2 or 3 months by a mile for me. Until Rafinha turned up. I thought, you forget those Liverpool games. Liverpool at Anfield, he was fantastic in that game. Fantastic against City. He didn't give De Bruyne a kick in that game. So I think I'm pretty confident, very confident, in fact, he does bounce back.
Yeah, definitely. Jimmy said, if anyone needs to go, it's Cooper. Again, I thought Cooper was good tonight. Cooper was good tonight.
I don't think... What did you think? Sorry?
Well, Cooper was good tonight. I don't know what he did wrong.
Second half. I thought first half, a little bit rash first, but I can't blame any of the goals on him.
Yeah, there was a challenge he made late on. One on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, when Dominic Calvert-Lewin's burst, he just nipped it straight out, like taking candy from a baby.
Well,
and one from Sigurdsson. I thought he was great tonight. I don't understand
He's in good form for me.
Yeah, well, he was good tonight. I do not understand what he did wrong tonight, personally.
I think Brighton, Newcastle, Leicester tonight. I think he's put together a good 4 or 5 games. To be fair to him.
Yeah.
What I will say about Cooper is, do I think he's a first choice centre back? Probably not. To be honest, I think Struijk, Koch have been far better this season in terms of what they've shown. Far bigger potential. But no, I don't agree with that at all. I think Cooper, important leadership second half.
These things happen, right? We've lost the game of football. These things happen. Ultimately, Oscar, the first goal, the cross shouldn't come in and Pascal should get rid. It is what it is. He should meet the ball. He should come across, enter that space, clear the ball. So that's where the error lies in that one. The first one, it's a set piece. Godfrey nicks it on. Yes, it comes off Cooper. Ayling's maybe sleeping on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin's great in the air, great in them areas. It's 2-0. Look, second half, we were much, much better. We hit the post in the first. Bamford hit the crossbar and also made about 3 very decent saves, one of them being great from Rafinha. It's just one of them things. It didn't drop, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. Alexander says, we're not stuffed. We did okay for me, and it is what it is, mate. We move on now, Palace, and for me, we owe them one. Yes, Jack knows we didn't have clinicality tonight. It was almost there. Yeah. It was almost there, but yeah.
I thought Rafinha did everything right. On that Rolston save, it was a tight angle. He hits it well. He hits it really well. He catches it. Great save off the keeper, to be fair. Great save on the keeper, but I mean the finish as well before it. Superb, but we were so close. I mean, Bamford had a couple of headers. Did really well to make something of them. To be fair, they weren't easy chances, but he made something of them. He had to keep a scrap. He hit the bar on one of them. So, yeah, I think Palace.
And that's a good point by Lee as well. Like Lee doesn't agree, and that's fine. He says maybe there's too much area for Pascal to get across, which I initially thought as well on game, but having seen it back, he probably should go.
Commit for me. Try and stop the cross. Try and get to the ball. It's there in front of him. It's there to be got.
But we said on the stream, bro, do you know the goal reminded me of the Brighton goal?
Yeah.
It was poor. It was poor defensively. It was poor defensively. But look, it is what it is. We move on, don't we, bro? We move on. We've got Palace up next. And us Leeds fans really think that we owe them one, personally. I think we really owe Crystal Palace one, because that last game wasn't a 4-1, and it'd be great to get back on the horse, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think we can, to be fair. Look, Palace, I think they've won the last 2 games, haven't they, Palace? I think they've won Newcastle and Wolves. So, won them by 1 goal as well. Not particularly convincing. So, I don't think there's anything massively to fear. I just think they've got good individuals. I think Hodge, look, we know what Roy Hodgson's going to do. We know before the game's kicked off. Long ball, counter-attack, sit deep. Clear as day what Hodgson will do in that game. And look, tonight you look at it and you say that might be the way to play against Leeds at the minute, in terms of slow the game down, play it long, play for set pieces, try and win set pieces, have your forwards running the channels, play on the counter, etc., etc. That might be the way to play against Leeds. But for me, it's harder for Palace to do what Everton did tonight. They haven't got the same quality. They haven't got the same level. They haven't got to do Doucouré carrying the ball. And I've got to say, Doucouré, I thought was a lot better tonight than he was in the first game. I think I thought he played really well, to be honest, Doucouré.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. He did carry the ball really well. He was powerful tonight, and he definitely made some bursting runs with the ball at his feet. Didn't do much of that. You touched on a great point earlier on, and I just want to pick up on it again. This Everton side didn't play James Rodriguez. Ancelotti maybe was a little bit naive and didn't really give us the respect we deserved in that first fixture. He said midweek he didn't know who Bamford was. He knows who he is now. He obviously didn't give much credit to Leeds with the players that he played. They had a totally different game plan today. KP, if you remember in that first game, he got man of the match. He bossed the game. He was given nowhere near the amount of space and time. Yeah. That's due to Ancelotti looking at this Leeds United team, They didn't play James Rodriguez. They knew too much of a luxury player to be getting a result against this Leeds United side because he doesn't do enough tracking, he doesn't do enough running back. So that's why changes were made. I bet Everton fans probably looked at it initially and were like, "What the? Why is he playing Sigurdsson? Why is he doing?" But it worked. It worked, and they did a good job. They got in front. They managed to get 2. We said 5 minutes before half time when that corner comes in, prior to knowing that there's going to be a goal, don't concede here. Don't concede here. Because if we don't concede there, we win the game for me. We win the game for me.
100%. I think we started well enough. I think the big thing I say tonight as well is we had players missing, but we didn't cope as well with that as what we did against Leicester for me. You know, obviously, Rodrigo, you could clearly feel Rodrigo was missing. Sometimes when we got the ball in that final third, there was no one making that drive and run with Bamford. It was like a second strike kind of thing because Dallas and Click are different kind of players. You know, obviously, Struick played, Cooper played. It didn't look quite as secure as what it did against Leicester. I don't think we did as good a job on Calvert-Lewin as what we did at Goodison Park. We didn't do as good a job on Calvert-Lewin as what we did at Goodison Park, but I still think we're better at stopping teams playing through us than what we were 6 weeks ago. No doubt about it for me. I think there's definitely a difference there. Dallas is working to an extent in midfield. I think obviously on the ball, maybe don't quite get the same level of creativity, the same vision, the same passing, you know, range of passing, etc., etc. He keeps it quite simple, but he does the hard yards off the ball. And for Bielsa, high pressing, that is probably what you look at and say, yeah, let's stick with that for a couple of games. The only thing I do say about Dallas in midfield, and it's not, the only problem I have about Dallas in midfield now is it's not Dallas in midfield. It's Alioski at left back. That's the thing that I say now.
Yeah.
I look at that, if I'm Crystal Palace, with the pacey wingers they've got, not just Zaha, Townsend, Schlupp, etc., Eze, you know, they're probably going to target that.
Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this pretty you know, staunch statement? Said, "Sorry, Joe and Oscar, you're making excuses for me. Love the channel, but we're kidding ourselves. Every other game we get caught out ball watching, which costs us every time." Don't agree with that.
I think every team has that, though. That's what I'd say. I think every team.
Every game we get caught ball watching. Give me some more. I need some more, Gavin. I need some more meat on the bones, brother.
I think set pieces are still an issue. That's frustrating. We've not quite solved that issue, but we just don't have the height. You know, we just don't have the height. We don't have Koch and Struick in the same team. That probably does solve the issue largely for me. You know, because start of the season, other than Liverpool, where they had Virgil van Dijk, other than that, I don't think in those first couple of games we had a problem on set pieces. Maybe I'm being naive, but I honestly can't think of a situation where we had a problem on set pieces. Koch took up that Janssen role of just smashing the ball out of play, getting just like Mina today. Look, at our delivery today was fantastic into the box. I thought I've never seen us take so many good set pieces consecutively. Rafinha, Phillips, great balls into the box, making the keeper make a decision, making Mina make a last-ditch clearance. You've got a player like Mina. I don't think Mina's particularly good in open play, but on set pieces, he is first to absolutely everything, both defensively and going forward. And set pieces, they're worth another 10 points for me over the season. This season, we haven't had that side of the bargain, to be fair. But next season, when Koch comes back in, I think we're okay. I think we're okay on that situation.
Definitely. Look, just wasn't our night, as we've said. Wasn't our night. We had chances. Alioski hits the post, also makes some great saves. And, you know, Everton were clinical. They had that clinicality, as Jack Spate reminded us earlier on. Just wasn't our night. But we deserve something.
To be fair, the other day, the clinicality. I think it was on when I went on Toffee's TV. I was thinking, I was answering a couple of questions, and it just came out, and I thought, clinicality. Oh yeah, Wayman. I was thinking. I went with it. To be fair,
nice.
I didn't stop. I went with it. I said, "That is a word. Yeah. Look it up. All these TV, Joe Wayman, clinicality. It's a word."
Definitely. I can see a lot of people asking us about individual players. Not to fear, guys. That's the post-match done. We move on now to Palace. But before this evening's done, at 10:30, we'll be back with you as we do our live player ratings. So if you, in the meantime, Head on over to Twitter, get your votes in on the live player ratings. We'll be back with you in less than 4 minutes, guys. So go straight over to that stream, start smashing the likes, and we can start talking about individual players while we do your Leeds player ratings. So we will see you very shortly. Peace out. Head on straight over. Yeah, Alexander says, thanks, Joe. Thanks, Oscar. And cheers. Don't go yet, mate. Head on over. Half 10. It's not over yet. The night is still young.
The final leg of the marathon.
Yeah, we love it. We love match days. Like Matt says, smoking a pee break. He knows. He knows. See you at half 10. Peace.